Yo, Mimic verse JoeBoston. Let's get it in. Now, real talk, I have substance. Something that you don't threat. Your wife is a fat sket with saggy breasts and bad breath. You're just an all-round faggot. And when I mention your fat head, you can see a reflection of yourself in my bars. My verse is that prism effect. See, you're like the softest bitch. And proved it when you got mad over that Daigle diss. You got us debating and questioning what type of league this is. Your idea of battling probably consists of pillow fights and shadow boxing whilst wearing oven mitts. See, I tried to arrange this battle for money, but Self said you got scared like a little kid. He said your wife controls your money, which is ironic, and why you gave it a miss. If that ain't true, then at least half of it is. The other part of the reason may be, well, a girl being seen with you without being paid doesn't exist. See, I'm going all arms out when this kicks in. Leave you tore so much half your frame will go missing. Turn your back on me, I'll leave your cranium different. Onlookers wouldn't be able to stomach the scene when you look like a murder victim. I'll turn a cold shoulder as my hands leave you deformed physically. Now for the slow ones out there, I just proved I could easily body JoeBoston. Literally. But I heard your Boston tribute. I gotta give you props, cause that was your hardest joint. I mean, that marathon was a tragedy, so it's not a topic I would exploit. But in many ways you must be thankful to God for how he made you and expressed it in your voice, cause the bombing happened near the finish line. So you didn't come close to being blown up cause you're fat as fuck, so never made it past the starting point. And that's a pure fact. So how the expression goes is pure daft. Cause you can kill way more than 2 birds with the amount of stones that you have. Same for your wife. I mean, that sort of makes me believe the sex isn't hot. I mean, picture it now. Joe and his wife decide to give intercourse a shot, but both tremble at the thought and get nervous as fuck. Cause they're both fat. They have to play rock, paper, scissors just to see who goes on top. But fuck your jokes, I'm committing the crime. And fuck your hair, it don't look as good as mine. I'm putting you straight behind bars like you're serving time. But it will be me taking reverse charges, cause all I'm doing is hitting you with direct lines. But let me get back to that Daigle situation. You said that was harsh shit, but many would argue the fact I'm just being myself and coming the hardest. But you acted out like, he crossed the line and that's retarded. You got angry, but shit, you're so fat you can't even ventilate without being lethargic. Now many would say there's too much overweight content and it's easily beaten. Like, men, we don't want to hear about how many burgers Joe has eaten. They would probably question why I have all these fat jokes I feed him. Because look at him. It's not as if I don't have a big enough reason. This ain't no buffet, Joe. There's no chips with dips or ribs. I bet the only reason he motorboats his wife's tits is cause he heard she had burger nips. But damn, you're a nerdy cunt. If you ever do decide to go between a girl's joints, I bet you have sex with a prostitute and try to pay her off in Microsoft points. See, that's the worst. Honestly, Joe, that's absurd. I should raise my hand to you faster than Slayer when he tries and spits a verse. You ain't nobody apart from being known as a guy with a Joe Normus head. But you're also just known as a guy with the same accent as the character in Ted. That's it. Done. Dead. Fuck your head. Yeah.